Lamb's Lab. So we'll start by just where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Hamilton, Ohio, my whole life. Haven't lived anywhere else except when I went off to college. So, been here in Hamilton, Ohio, my whole life.
And like what part of Hamilton?
Second Ward, over off of a lot of people from Hamilton to know, off of Hanover Street. It's actually my house that I was raised up in as a kid. Of course, you know, if you're from Hamilton, you kind of moved around here and there. I used to live across the tracks on 11th Street, lived on Central, Washington Street. So I lived in Hamilton for the most part of my life.
Okay. And who are you raised by?
My mother. My father was around here till about maybe about 8 or 9 years old. But don't get it wrong, he still was in my life. But my mother was a big part of my life of raising me.
Okay.
Big part.
And you have any siblings?
I have 3 older sisters, and I have a younger brother as well that also is from here that, you know, as well as play sports, did everything is also.
And how old are the sisters? Well, how much older?
The sisters are about 13, 14 years older.
Okay, yeah.
They were already teenagers when me and my brother was born, so they're a lot more mature than what we are. So they're about 13 to 14 years older. I think my oldest sister may be 15 years older than me. So
gotcha. And so it's basically you and your brother in the house at the same time?
Yeah. 2 years apart from each other. He was born probably like a year and a half, 2 years right after me. So yeah, just me and him lived in the house together, grew up together, played ball together. We kind of did everything together in a sense.
Okay. So what was it like growing up? You kind of answered that, just you did a lot of sports, a lot of activities and stuff?
A lot of activities, man. You know, when you lived in the second ward, you did, you know, football at the Catholic, you did baseball at the community center where everybody wanted to play baseball. Everybody played Pee Wee football at Little Blue. So, you know, we're just kind of staying active, keeping us out of trouble.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go next. You consider yourself a good kid growing up? Pretty good?
I did. I really did. I could say, as a kid, I definitely was a good kid growing up. I was that kid I didn't want to get in trouble because I was scared of my mom. So right. I will say, you know, I think that's why we played a lot of sports, just to stay out of trouble.
I got you. And were you a good student?
I was a good student. Middle school kind of threw me off a little bit, but I had to kind of get myself back on track. Yeah. I mean, if you're sure, you know, you start seeing different things, you start growing up, your mind start floating away where you should be focused on. But I had to try to get back on track with it once I got toward high school. But yeah,
I feel that. So did you like school?
School was cool, especially junior high school definitely was a big thing for me to learn different how to deal with different people, I guess, if you want to say that, considering where I had grew up from, going to Harrison Elementary, and then I went to George Washington, so it was definitely a different kind of diversity. So it was something to get used to, but once I, you know, adapted to it, school was cool. School was cool. You got to meet a lot of new people from different situations, different backgrounds, and I thought that was cool.
Okay. So you spoke just of your mom, and around here, your mom is like known in the community as like a motherly figure to you know many people, you know, over the years. So
correct.
What can you say about like her willingness, like to help people and stuff?
Man, it's her willingness to help people to this day. People still see her and say, "What's up, Mom?" My mom was always that person. She didn't mind you coming over to play the video games and hang out. But it was always one rule my mother had was if you come over on Saturday nights, you going to church on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some people didn't have that. So they were cool of coming over and going to church because my mom, she didn't look at anybody else's kid as, oh, that's just a kid. If you was at my house, you was considered a son, and that's kind of why, like, a lot of times me and my brother had so many different friends and stuff over, because she was that mother. She was that mother figure, because some of these, you know, some kids didn't have that. So my mom didn't mind, hey, get your butt in here, get you something to eat, and you know that's what good parents would do, you know.
Right.
And she was just one of those in the community, and
Yeah, it's like that old school, you know,
Right.
form of, you know, parenting that sometimes you don't see nowadays.
you don't see it
And
nowadays.
maybe not as much even in that day, but
Yeah, but
kept that up.
she kept that up, and you know, it was a few more parents as well, just like that. But I just remember my mom always. She didn't mind who the kid was. She didn't mind who his parents was. If they wanted to do something, she always was for it. You know, it was, you had people coming to our house sometime, and I wasn't even there. And that was just type of the mother she was.
Okay, that's cool. So, you was playing football or whatever. Did you play like when Little Blue was around? Were you a part of that?
Yeah. I played. First year I wanted to play football, and we got sent to the wrong place at the time. We didn't. Me and my brother. He was 6. I think I was 7. We got sent to the wrong place, so we didn't play the 1 year. But then when we actually started playing football back in, my first year of football was back in 88. 88. I was 8 years old. And my brother played, and we had some really, really good mentors of coaching. It's probably why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Right.
It's definitely because of those guys. So I started playing young.
Any of those mentors like stand out to you?
Definitely. Rest his soul, Coach Rick Wagers was definitely a big part. Can't forget about Herbie Benson. And most importantly, one of the most important ones that I had was Jim Boy. Not only did he coach me in football, but he was also my coach in baseball, a sport that, as you see, a lot of us really don't play anymore.
Right.
But we always those three guys off the top, like, was really, really big part of a lot of things that I do to this day. So.
Okay, so you go through, you know, Little Blue or whatever. You move into junior high. You said George Washington.
Correct.
And you know, how was what were you playing? Just basketball, football there?
I played football and basketball, but the way my age worked out, from 7th and 8th grade, I was still able to play Little Blue. And
Really?
yeah, so people used to always wonder, like, you know, why you still playing Little Blue? Well, I was young. I wasn't, you know, you had these guys in junior high that was like 13, 14 years old, but at the time when I was in 8th grade, I was only 12.
So you was playing middle school and Little Blue?
I just played Little Blue.
Oh, okay.
I played middle school when I got to 9th grade.
Okay.
But 7th and 8th grade, I played Little Blue. You know, I wasn't into Little Blue was just as tough as junior high at the time. I wasn't really focusing on the 7th and 8th grade thing, you know. My mindset was they only had like 8 games. Little Blue, you know, at the time we had about 15 games plus a Super Bowl, and the most important thing was at the end of the year, we got to take that team to Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
So, and that was something I cherished for a long time. So I just refused to play 7th and 8th grade football, but I did play 9th grade football at George Washington and became the starting quarterback. So,
Gotcha.
and I did play basketball 7th, 8th, and 9th at GW.
Right.
So.